Hey there, it's Rick Khan here, and in this video I'm going to show you how to create Facebook ads conversion campaign and with their new algorithm updates. Now, as you're probably already aware of, or if not, you should know that Facebook is notorious for changing things. And that's why staying up to date with the latest changes and algorithms is important for your success with advertising on Facebook. That's why you should also subscribe to stay up to date for the latest information. Now, the conversion campaign is something I do very often, and besides getting retargeting data through engagement campaigns, conversions is what I use 90% of the time. You see, using the conversion campaigns is what drives valuable actions on your landing pages and your website, because you're telling Facebook exactly what a purchase, a lead, or any other type of conversion objective you want, and Facebook goes out and looks for that, or most likely to convert for that conversion. So with that said, let's jump on my computer and go through how you can do this with confidence. So here's the Ads Manager dashboard, and before we create a campaign, what you want to make sure is that you have your Events Manager set up. This will be the pixel that you'll be telling Facebook what a conversion means for you, which is, for example, a purchase or a lead or whatever you want the conversion to be. Which generally for me, it's always usually between a lead or a purchase. Once you have that set up, the easy part is actually setting these campaigns up, because the hard part is doing all the things before to get to this stage, because all you're going to do is click a few shiny buttons and make everything magically happen for you. So first is press the create button, the big shiny green button. And you may have the new dashboard layout. Facebook loves changing this stuff. And the main conversions I use are sales or leads. Now, the old one used to separate, such as catalogs, messages. They've just combined it all into conversions. And with the leads, this is now separate. Used to do it in conversions with your leads, but now you have to click it over here. So for me, I'm going to do a conversion of a purchase. So all you do is click it, and you can actually name and label if you like to organize things, which you should be organizing this. It can get very messy. So for this example, this is the campaign level, and this is your ad set level and your ad level. So I'll just call the campaign test 1C for campaign. The ad set, I'll just call it ad test, and again ad creative test. That's it, all labeled. You can label it as we continue further, which I'll show you right here. Press continue. So as you can see, your campaign name at the top, you can label it here as well. And the next part is special ad categories. You just leave this alone unless you're doing anything around politics, credit, employment, housing. Tells you over here, which basically leave that alone. Campaign details, again, I leave all this alone. Around the A/B split testing, I'd leave this alone as well. This is more for advanced, especially when you're on the testing phase. And now you have the campaign budget optimization. Now with the CBO, you want to leave this alone if you're just starting a test campaign or if your budget's too low. But until you get a proof of concept working, you have your ad sets working, everything's starting to flow and everything works, your offer, then you use it. But for now, we're going to use ABO, which is called Ad Set Budget Optimization. So we turn this off, and I'll show you how to do that. Press the next button. Here we have the ad set name. Again, I already pre-labeled it at the beginning. Now you want to click the location where you want to take action for your customer to go, for Facebook to track, and it's going to be website. You select your pixel. And over here, you tell it what you want. In this case, it will be a purchase. Leave that alone. Once you have that going, then we move on. Now you have dynamic creative. I generally tend to leave this alone until I get my proof of concept going. which I will be making a video about how to use dynamic creative. So for now, leave this alone and you can leave it off. And then now you're setting up your ABO, your ad set budget optimization. So you don't have to put a big budget into this, especially if you're just starting. What I would do is start off with just £5, or you can use $5. And then I create multiple ad sets, all £5, until the proof works. Then I start increasing the budgets. Scheduling, again, I don't use this much. I like to monitor the ads. If you're a person who just wants to set a date where when it starts and when it ends, this is where you use all this. But for now, we need to leave this alone. And then you have the audiences. Who are you showing this ad to? So you have your custom audiences. Now this is if you already have pixel set up, you have lookalike setups, you have an email list, retargeting Facebook page, things like that. For now, I'm going to leave this alone if this is a test. And if you have any saved audiences, you can also use that. You can use exclusions if you have an email list you want to exclude, or if you don't want certain people to see your ad, just press exclude and add them in. Then we have locations. Now, usually I tend to use the big four. I'll just show you how to use this. United States. Wait for it to populate. There it is. Canada. And Australia, which will just populate. It usually costs more to use these because the best conversions happen in these four main countries. It's the ones I tend to use. Now, if you're local, you can just pick your local area and target that. Next, we have the age. So with the age, if you've got a specific audience, it all depends on who you're targeting. But if your age group is a certain, you know who it is, then you can adjust this. I tend to leave this alone and let Facebook just optimize it. And it's the same with genders. If you know if you're targeting just females or males, then go ahead and set the gender. But for me, I'm just going to leave this wide open. And the detailed target, if you have certain interests, you can add them into this part, which is the detailed targeting. And again, I'm going to leave all this alone because this is an ad set. I'm going to let Facebook optimize who my ideal audience should be within their platform. Languages, if you want to change any specific languages, you can do. For me, it's going to be English. Plus your cost will go down, leaving this targeting open. You're not restricting Facebook. Placements, for this one, I generally leave it on automatic again, but I do like to separate Instagram. And I know Facebook, even though if you do separate it, it will optimize the best performing ads over the marketplace, over the news feed, over Instagram. But still, I do leave it quite wide open by leaving Instagram out of it. I used to just click the Facebook news feed and turn them all off. But for this instance, I'm going to let the Facebooks do the job. The delivery, you leave all this alone. You don't need to mess with any of this stuff. And that's it. You just move to next. Now we are at the ad level. This is the bit where now you're going to add your advertisement, what it is you're going to put in front of the audience. Go away. Here we start with the ad name. Again, we already labeled this at the beginning. Oh, just to mention as well, forgot to mention, if you see errors like this, do not worry, do not panic. For me, I'm not entering all the information the way I usually do. So it's going to come up with an error, and just go back, it might say it. This as well, I want to mention, ad set may get 0 purchases. Ignore it. You don't need to pay any attention to this. It's something it always says to me most of the times, and it's never generally true. So going back to it. So the Facebook page, which Facebook page you're using, you just need to click whichever yours is. And then we move on to ad setup. Now here we're going to create the ad. Now, if you already have an existing post or you want to use Creative Hub Markup, I usually use only the create ad, start from scratch, or an existing post that I already have on. For this, I'll show you how to create an ad. So you have the carousel or collection. I never really used collection much. Carousel and single image is the ones I use, but for this one, it's going to be a single image or even a video you can add. So for this purpose, I will create a full video on how to create these ads. If you leave me a comment below, if this is something you definitely want, I will create one, but probably in the future, I will create one anyway. So single image, add it in. You can preview the ad once you have the image. So add your media, which is your video, which is your image. Your primary text. Now, the primary text is the copy they're going to see pretty immediately. As someone scrolling, it's the first part they'll see of the text. And this is where you want to grab your audience, because remember, people are scrolling the pictures of their family, talking to their friends. They're not interested in what it is you have, so you have to grab your audience. And this is where you would do it with your body and text. So call them out, use a, all depends on your industry. What is it you're selling? Is it a product, service? Is it a fun style product? Is it a problem solution type product? You just add that in. Headline again grabs the attention. It's something that should be quick and easy because you are limited to the amount you use on these texts. Add your description and your call to action. They usually leave it as default as learn more, and I most of the times either use learn more or download, depending what your product is you're offering or service. Now your destination, all you do is enter the link where you're sending people to. So you just add that into there. I just leave all this alone. Now here you have tracking. Now with the tracking, if you have Google Tag Manager set up, because I would not trust Facebook's analytics or their metrics. I would never trust them. Go and set up with Google Tag Manager or another third-party software, but I would not trust it. The amount of times they've got the information incorrect, I would always track it through a third party. For me, I use Google Tag Manager, and I use my Google Analytics to do all my measuring of the metrics. So I'd add that in. And that is pretty much the whole ad would be set up from this point. It's as simple as that. You would just click publish over here and wait for approval. Once the ad's working, you can either duplicate the ad, create more ad sets, or if it's really good, you then set it up with CBO, all these different multiple things to scale, which I do have a video and I will leave a link in the description. But it's pretty straightforward. This is actually the easy part of creating an ad, to be honest. It's not the hard part. The hard part is all the stuff you do previously, coming up with everything. That's the difficult part. This part is the optimization. All I'm going to do at this point, if I set this up, is just do all the tracking in my Google Analytics, put it into a PDF and scale if the ad is winning. And that's it for this video. If you like the video, please leave a thumbs up and make sure to subscribe for more videos. Now, if I left anything out, you can leave a comment and I will try my best to answer any questions you may have, or even create a video on something you're stuck with. So until then, I'll see you in the next video.